So here are the hot topics we're going to get into. Welcome to the RMan Live show, where legacy meets the headlines and healing meets the heat. I'm DeAngelo, okay, otherwise known as Life Over 40 Plus, all about second act, living it right, all right? Your guide through the soulful craziness of the world and the straight up surreal, all right? Go ahead, brother.
And I am DE Wilder, and I'm happy that you're able to join us today, where we are covering some interesting topics with an even greater guest.
Yes.
We're going to flip the script, and we're going to get into these hot topics real quick.
Wonderful. And we're talking, I can't say the word on here, KNIVES at the neck, $1 billion bets, and Shutdown deja vu, all right?
Whoa.
Then we're going to pivot to the purpose of Dr. Maurice Ball, the gentleman you see here, the founder of the Legacy Builders Cooperative, who's here to dismantle myths about building spiritual muscle. That's what I would say, right? Through his own journey. So, where do we go from here, my friend Des?
Let's get right into the hot topic.
All right.
Let's talk about it, because it's something. We didn't break the news, but it's breaking news because it happened today.
Yeah,
Did you hear about that, gentlemen?
I did.
Doctor, did you hear about that?
I did.
I'm just hearing about it, and I'm unfolding the details. You know what? I have mixed feelings. I feel in one instant not surprised, another instant heartbroken, another instant dumbfounded. It doesn't make any sense to me, especially as they start dropping some of the names and stuff like that. I'm saying like these are worlds apart. Currency Billa, the Gambino, this don't even make any sense to me. But apparently what's happening, because I believe a couple of people was arrested. And this is crazy. What do you guys think?
Can you give us, for some people who may not have heard this, or what's the 411, can we give them like a roundabout?
I don't know if we have enough time. If we unfold the whole federal indictment, this is almost like a RICO case, a racketeering RICO case. We got gambling, we got sports gambling on different levels, we got insider information, we got millions of dollars lost. I don't know where to start.
Supposedly this has been going on for years, right? And all of a sudden, under the Republican administration, the FBI has uncovered this. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, D.
I didn't even think about the political aspect of it.
Yeah. What do you think, Dr. Maurice?
They're about to make an example of them because it's redirection.
Yeah,
On
correct.
the flip side, they should have been smart enough not to. You're making millions of dollars. So I used to be an agent, and so Terry Rozier was in the last. He was in the final year of his $96 million contract, right? $96.3 million to be exact. So he was going to pull in somewhere around $40 million.
Wow.
This year.
Wow.
Why would you do that? Why would you go get pennies?
Right.
In exchange for millions? And because the FBI has nothing else to do, it ain't like they're going after real hardcore criminals, you know what I mean? Like stuff that's going on. They're about to make an example out of these young men. And it's going to be sad, but at the same time, you had to count the cost of the consequences. But when you don't get caught, guess what? You don't care about the consequences until you get caught.
That's right. And it's a funny thing because that same mentality is what we talk about when we were talking about the Diddy case so many times, is that you get to a certain level that you don't even think you can be caught. You don't even think there is any consequences, and it certainly does not apply to you. And if you do get caught, you have enough money and resources that it gets you through it. But a lot of people finding out right now that's not the case.
Yep.
That is not the case.
So do you guys think there's going to be more people being found out about in this, coming out of this, like actual NBA players that are actually formally playing right now, actively playing?
Possibility.
They
Really?
go see.
Oh, really?
They go. You know what I'm saying? If they say you're facing 15 years,
Correct.
but we'll give you a plea deal if you start telling those people, You don't think they're going to take the plea?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's basically the MO of the FBI. That's their MO. They get a group of people involved. They may not even know who is the main culprit. And they just start twisting arms, offering. Whoever takes the first offer is the one who gets the least. And that's what they're going to do. And when you got a whole bunch of people who has a lot to lose, they're going to be talking like singing birds.
And this cat, the FBI director, he's so excited. Like,
what? No,
we caught
so
these
excited
guys doing it. Like, yo.
He's so excited.
Y'all about to get shafted because he's trying to, what he's trying to do is validate his position.
Correct.
Right? He know he's underqualified. He know he doesn't have 1 ounce of iota job experience or knowledge about what he's doing.
That's right.
He's failed at everything else that he's done. And so now he catches 2 NBA guys and he's sitting there thinking, you will think that he caught all the drug lords and gangsters and everything. He was like,
he was giddy. He was giddy.
That's funny and sad at the same time.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some actual NBA players that might get caught up in some of this nest that they have right now. Okay.
You know them jokers right now is cleaning out. They doing everything. The ones that was like, yo, I was there last night.
Yeah.
They get alibis.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They had another scandal with NBA players where they were doing something insurance fraud. Yeah. And several of them had pleaded guilty and went to prison for it. This doesn't even make sense to me. It don't even make sense to me. It really don't.
Nope.
But when you don't count the consequences, now you got to think about your kids.
That's right.
You got to think about your wife. Mm-hmm. You got to think about all your business ventures that you had going on out there. Like, you wasn't thinking about that before.
At the time.
Yep.
You made a couple of $100,000, even if that, and your contract, you was going to see close to 40 mil.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. We're not going to spend too much time on it because we got to interview this brother soon. So let's get to the other ones. This is a study my wife encouraged me to look at. We're going to talk about the shutdown. Let's give a brief update where we are. We are now at 23 days with the shutdown. Remember, 2018, it was a record, I believe, 35 days. So keep that in your head. We get to 35 days, we solve this, we good. We get after that, now let's start worrying, okay? So we're at 23 days. Senate fails to pass.
That's easy said than done. It's not that simple.
Exactly. So real quick, Senate fails to pass Shutdown Fairness Act, which is 54 to 45 vote. 500,000 federal workers furloughed, SNAP benefits at risk. Trump prepares for Asia trip as Democrats call it outrageous. TSA agents, air traffic controls, and military workers unpaid. Families missing paychecks, facing food insecurity, filibusters and finger pointing dominate the floor. And last but not least, is this just politics or a deeper test of moral leadership? What say you guys?
All the above.
Yeah.
All the above. But this is foolishness. This is normal political gamesmanship with a lot of collateral damage. And that's the sad part, is that it just proves that if you ever think about it, a government shutdown, if that is the case, should be a full government shutdown, including the presidency. But the House and the Senate still get their paycheck. They still get their benefits and everything.
Yep.
So this is not really a government shutdown. This is the people, the first responders. This is the people who are taking care of the government. They are the collateral damage.
Right.
Yeah, I think that I like what the Democrats did by not folding, because over the last few years, they've been pushovers and been soft as mushy ice cream. And they try to play fair. It's hard to have a battle with somebody where they're using guerrilla warfare tactics and you're using conventional tactics.
That's right.
And when you look at one side of the aisle, they're following the vision and mission of this person that's supposed to be that's in office. Right. They're not worried about their constituents. They didn't get elected. Their constituents didn't get elected to say, hey, I need you to be completely sold out to this particular vision. But when you get in there, you get power hungry, you get drunk by that stuff. Now you're pursuing, because everybody got to kiss the ring.
Right.
Everybody got to follow suit. Why? Because you need that 70 plus million people to help you stay in power. Because the minority is really white men. They are the minority. All the other minority groups have surpassed them, but what they've been doing has been redistricting so that they can stay in power. You'll lose the election, but you'll still win the seat.
That's right.
They keep moving the goalposts so that they can stay in power, and as long as they're in power, they're going to control the rules. So they're 48% done with Project 2025. 48% in 10 months. So they know that the primary's coming up here next year, and they're trying to push all this stuff as fast and as much as they can, so that, because they know they have a possibility of losing the House and the Senate. The Democrats finally said, you know what? No, we care about our people.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And when
no, I was going to say, the fact of the matter, just like the good doctor just said, this is the last hand the Democrats have right now. They don't have any more cards to play. You have to hold the line right here. You have to stand for something. And we're going to have to go through this process and see it play out.
There was something interesting just to talk about on that. My wife said, you should look into this. She saw it somewhere posted, and she said, go fact check it. So I went and looked. So
well, fact check.
They don't always fact check.
She's right again.
Okay. Anyway, so check this out. The ACA, Obamacare, we're talking about, right? Enrollment by political affiliation. Did you know that 45% of people enrolled in the Obama marketplace for medical coverage, it's more Republicans than Democrats? 45% versus 35%.
You have to think about it. Healthcare has no political standing. Everybody needs healthcare. No matter what you believe in, you need healthcare.
But if they're trying to get rid of it, they're essentially hurting their biggest supporters, because 45% of them are Republicans, over 35% being Democrats. The remaining 20% are independents. So more than half of 57% of ACA enrollees live in congressional districts that are represented by Republicans. 77% of all ACA enrollees live in the states that Donald Trump won in 2024. So what they're trying to get rid of is actually their constituents.
Because here's the thing. What you just described is apples and oranges. What you just described is on the surface statistics and political statistics of Republicans, Democrat, percentage, and stuff like that. And in the way you described it, you would assume that these politicians care about the people. It's been proven that they don't. And it's been proven that a large majority of people who voted for the person in office voted against their own best interests. Those people in those positions care nothing about those people. So the political affiliation has nothing to do with anything. They don't care if they're begging bread. They want to dismantle, as a good doctor said, dismantle a system and a structure. They have the plan, as you said, 48%, almost 50% there, executing their plan. This is what you just described, bigger than we know. It ain't about politics. It ain't about healthcare. Bigger than that.
Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for coming in. This is the RMan Live Show. We're news and entertainment. We have a brother here we're going to interview. We just got a couple more topics that we are going to hit very quickly. All right, so let's get back to Diddy real quick. So we know where Diddy is right now. I guess there was an episode that happened. You want to talk about that? Are you aware?
Apparently this episode is not new. It happened some time ago. It's through hearsay, it's through legal, it's through friends, it's through that and that. But we could say we heard it through the grapevine that at some point while Diddy was incarcerated, a cellmate held a weapon to his neck. And I believe this is coming out now because they're trying to, again, make the case that he is in jeopardy, his safety is in jeopardy, and for his safety, he belongs outside of prison. That's the only thing I could think of why this will come out now and didn't come out immediately before. But as my research go, this was actually brought up during the sentencing trials, that it was made mention or something like that. But obviously, he's going to do anything he can to get out. I think anybody would try to do that could get out.
They let George Santos out.
It's not even a joke. Once he let George Santos out with no reason, with no just cause to do that, I'm almost certain he's going to let Diddy out. I'm almost certain. You don't think so?
There's a party favor going on with that Santos thing.
Yeah.
You got to check what happened at the Republican convention and all the stuff that was happening. They shut Tinder down.
That's crazy.
With a bunch of hookups and same-sex hookups.
Oh, yeah?
They interviewed the man, and he was like, no, he was mean to me, and I'm not even considering it. It's like, well, you gonna have to eat that one, buddy. You go, unless you're trying to put some bread in his pocket. Right now, he controls the free world, and he is about to win a case that he filed against the America for $230 million.
He's about to try to win a case. I don't think it's gonna.
That person that controls it,
but let me
DOJ.
Even if they pay him that money, he'll be paying that money back, and people be going to prison. Trust me, everything that's happening now, there's going to be hell to pay at some point.
That's what you hope, but the reality is, by the time hold on, he's already putting a ballroom extension to the White House. That's a long-term. He's thinking long-term. He's thinking dictatorship. He is not thinking he's ever leaving the house. Who's putting a ballroom, $200 and something million funded by companies, as in not thinking they're not gonna stay there longer than 4 years to enjoy it? This is his new home. It's Putin time.
Right, but
he doing it like it's his crib.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, man, we just gonna go ahead and renovate
this
wing real quick. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. That's funny.
And then the Supreme Court, once they gave him immunity, he out here wilding. So
yeah, but that's funny and it's sad at the same time, because he's not the first politician who was delusional.
He's the first one that had the base that he has that's making stuff happen the way that it's happening.
You're right,
Dr. Maurice. This is he.
Yeah, like they all in. Don't matter what he does or what he says. They find a way to justify it. They called the No King protest on Saturday. They called it an anti-American protest. They called everybody Antifa.
Okay.
I was at a protest, and it was all WT baby boomers.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like they're like, no, we done came too far to let this person mess up our pensions and our retirement and other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
So you say, okay, he's doing this, somebody's doing that. They think they're going to get away with it. They think they're going to live out this and live out that. But everything that's happening is happening for a reason. But it's the opposite reason of what people think. And so here's my spiel. They are going to push every envelope all the way to the end and to the hilt, because they want to push it until they can break the Constitution. They're going to push it all the way as far as they can. They're going to do that because they want the people to rise up. They want mayhem. They're going to push it until they get mayhem. Be wary of that.
And just get some comments in the chat. I have Maddie saying, I think ultimately they're trying to incite a civil war.
That's what I just said.
You didn't use the word civil war. That's the problem. So nobody could understand you.
I said that. I questioned myself.
Okay. All right. I'm Inspired says he's doing what he wants. Tonight, I bet you that he named the ballroom after himself. Wow, that's crazy. He probably will, right? So it's crazy. All right, we got to keep moving because we got to interview this brother.
As drastic as it may seem, he's not the first president who made changes to the White House. One of the other presidents put on an outdoor pool. Barack Obama changed a little tennis court into a basketball court. It's not precedent. He's not the first president to make changes to the White House.
It's supposed to be done through Congress's approval.
Not Congress approval. Congress don't govern that. That's just, I think, the land and historical or parks and something is the ones who govern that. They do it in like a coalition where they talk about it and they do planning. Obviously, he did not speak to anybody. But again, he's not the first president to make changes to the White House.
Okay. All right. Look, I got one that's not on here. I got to share with you. We can do it real quick because I need to hear your opinion because first of all, Dr. Maurice, are you an Apple product guy or a...
Oh, no.
I am an Android all
Yes!
Samsung.
Yes!
Samsung, because I have an Apple iPad, which is the iPad I'm currently on. I don't have anything else Apple. I used to do tech support for Apple years ago, and I was like, no, the new phone, the Galaxy from 2 years ago or 3 years ago has that.
Wow.
So like updates the stuff that's just
good
that's
doctor.
old.
Nobody even know what Galaxy is. People can't even spell Galaxy.
Wait, no, don't go there.
He must be an
Yes.
Apple person.
We've
So you would have spent $1,700 for that new 17 just because the color changed and you can move the icons on your screen now.
Right.
Exactly. Did you see that they're coming with a trifold now? It's a trifold. It's going to be like another phone, and it's insane. Anyway, that's not the topic that I wanted to ask you guys, and I'm glad to know that you're with me on that side, brother. Now listen. So the whole thing with Bad Bunny, right? I uncovered something on this Bad Bunny thing, right? What the whole hoopla is about, right? It's not about him doing the halftime and they want diversity and he's not going to do the halftime in English and he's making that stand from a cultural stand. It's because he is in cahoots with Jay-Z and Apple because Apple's coming out with the earpods that they want you to buy that translates other languages in real time. So they got everybody out there watching him do his thing in Spanish and they got them earpods in. That's what the whole conspiracy is about.
Yeah. I read that.
It always comes down to money.
That's crazy.
And NFL, we not budget. But here's the thing. If the guy that's in the Oval Office put the press on them, they're going to conform.
No, I don't think.
Because all the other companies that are private entities conformed and got rid of all their DEI stuff.
When they all going to be paying for it. If they're not paying for it now, they're going to be paying for it in the future.
I hope the NFL stick to its guns.
They have no choice.
If they back down, everybody can still go fill the seats. The tickets are still going to be sold. People are still going to watch football on Sundays. Ain't no real consequences.
That's a good point because people like controversy. You know what? It'd probably still be the largest Super Bowl ever.
Yep.
Either way, if they back down or if Bad Bunny goes on. It's
All
a
right.
win-win for the NFL.
All right. That was good, you guys. That was good speed round on hot topics. It's time to get into the interview, and we always like to do it the right way. Yeah. We got a Renaissance man in the house, y'all. That's right. Let's go. Our special guest here tonight, Dr. Maurice Ball, y'all.
That's outdated. I just hit 8,000.
He's got 8,000 followers. That's right. And he's following 6,000. 24.6K likes. He's a husband, a father, a pastor, a mentor, a life coach, an entrepreneur, a community leader, y'all. Dr. Maurice Ball here for you tonight. Let's go. All right. There we go. Now we got you in a big spotlight.
Big box, baby.
And I'm going to let you take it from here and get this interview started, Mr. Wilder.
That was a fantastic introduction, Brother James. Great job. But I would love to hear from the good doctor. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what makes you who you are.
Oh, that's easy. I'm only who I am because my identity is not in me. My identity is in Christ. That is the foundation. That is the base. That is the reason why I move. Everything else outside of that is irrelevant. So that is the whole makeup of who I am and why I move the way that I move.
That's a beautiful thing, man. That's peace and blessings to that because I feel the same way. Excellent. So, you describe the Southern Indiana as home.
Yeah.
That's home for you. How has the place shaped your spiritual leadership journey?
Just give y'all. So I've been in ministry for 26 years. So I started this journey at 26. And I realized if I'm going to get in this thing, I gave the world 100%. When I was out in them streets, I was wilding. And I gave it 100%. So when I came over and was like, I'm going to try God, I couldn't give him less than what I gave the streets. And so I was like, I'm going to go 100. And been going 100 ever since. So me being in Southern Indiana is just a part. I'm actually from Indianapolis. I'm from the city. We moved. I left Indianapolis, went to California, came back to Indianapolis, went to Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is where I got in my relationship with God at. Met my wife. She was living in Charlotte, moved to Charlotte. We was there up until 2012. Left and went to Atlanta. Left Atlanta, went to Birmingham, and came here to Southern Indiana. And I came here to actually plant a church or take over a church.
Wow, that's powerful. So did you actually take over the church?
Nah, they chose not to. In the vetting process, they chose to go another way because they found out I was black.
Oh, how did that event affect you or affect your journey? Because sometimes, and I talk about this, and I have sessions on this, sometimes a misdirection of a journey is actually putting you on the path that you're supposed to be on.
Oh, for sure. I didn't feel no kind of way about it because my whole thing is if God says it's cool and he signs off on it, then it's cool. If God says it ain't cool and he doesn't sign off on it, at this stage of my walk, it didn't affect me. We moved here 8 years ago, so I was still in a great place in my relationship with God. So I was like, oh, okay, it's cool. And I moved on to the next thing. So yeah, it wasn't like I was, man, I wish I'd have got it. Now God, because my prayer is always, one, make it clear. Two, if it's not you, close the door.
That's right.
And so I don't have, when the door closed, I don't have to worry about why it closed. I don't ask why it closed. He closed the door.
That's right.
Keep it moving.
That's right. And a lot of people don't know how to pivot in their life. And that's something that I'm talking about in my work. That's something that Mr. James is talking about in his work in the second half of your life, is how to be able to be agile enough to pivot and not to stay in a moment and get so emotional tied to something.
For sure.
And that's a great point.
For sure.
Everybody have things that happens in their life that becomes that pivotal point in their life that it makes a change or adjustment. And from my understanding, you had something like that as it relates to your father. Can we talk about that?
Oh, absolutely.
Can you take us back to the moment when the passing of your father, how did that loss become a catalyst, if you will, for your mission now that you're doing and the future?
I was raised by a single dad. I have two older sisters that live with my mom, but it was just me and him.
Wow.
Which was unheard of 80s. Had he not passed, I don't know if I would be sitting here. I was in the Navy. I was out doing my thing. I was getting ready to become an officer in the Navy. So I was on a whole different trajectory. Once this happened, it pulled me out and brought me home. And that just changed the course of my life. When he passed, I was 20. So I crashed out. I went sideways. I went to the dark side of life. I know how to navigate in darkness. I know what darkness looks like. I know I was at the crossroads of life and death. So when you stand at the crossroad contemplating, how am I going to do this? What does me taking myself out looks like? So I went through a process of elimination, and I'm like, don't really rock with drugs. I really don't rock with weapons. I'm just like going through these process of elimination. And I would say I was agnostic at that point. Wasn't atheist, I was agnostic. So I was just like, God, if you are God, if there is a God, and you're real, just turn my air off, because that's the only thing that's going to work with me. Of course, he didn't do that, and I end up, it was a pin that got me started to move in the right direction. Now, it didn't seal the deal, because I didn't actually get into my relationship with God until 6 years later after that. But it was something that, and I had to learn forgiveness. See, this is I had to learn forgiveness because the guy that did it over trash, literal like trash.
Wow.
You go to your trash can and what's in there now. I had to learn how to forgive that dude.
Yeah.
I had to learn forgiveness the hard way. Now, and forgiveness is a process. It took several years of me really getting rid of that anger and that bitterness and really being able to forgive him and move on. But it was years later. Like everything that came from that didn't manifest until years later.
Wow, that's powerful. But that is certainly a life lesson and life journey. And I'm so happy that you have the strength and the courage to share that story with us.
You know what? I appreciate y'all invite me to the show. It's always an honor anytime anybody want to hear anything I got to say. I'm always honored. It's part of ministry. God is the author and the finisher, and so I don't have any problem sharing anything that happened in my life, because if it's going to give somebody a different perspective of God or draw him closer to God, then it is what it is.
Yeah, and there's so many sides of us, and that's why seeing you and all the things you're doing, the different sides of you, that's one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing, because there's so much diversity in the choices and the decisions we make and the things we pursue. And you're just helping. We thank you to just getting on the show and sharing your sides and what we're about to learn and the things you're doing in the community. Right?
And that's a perfect point. Tell us a little bit about the Legacy Builders
Cooperative.
Yeah, and tell us about that and what inspired its creation and what legacy are you hoping to leave behind?
Okay, I don't know if y'all seen the movie.
Oh, God. Listen, brother. Yeah. Oh, my, let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you. Oh my God. It was a journey, man. I had a spiritual evening. I was sitting with my wife. And every once in a while, when so many things are going on in the world, I just get so frustrated with the news, because my wife, she loves the political stuff. I don't want to hear none of that. So I turn on Lifetime television. And I watch I watch a corny ass Lifetime show. So that night, I said I want to put on something Lifetime, and I started scrolling through, and I ended up with I don't know if it was Apple or Netflix or one of them.
I think it was Prime.
Prime, correct? Yeah. And I ended up, and just the photo. Unfortunately, I thought the photo was Will Smith. I thought it was Will Smith or somebody, and clicked on that, and that movie not only changed my evening, but it really, because in the work that me and Mr. James is doing with building a brotherhood, that's even why we started Renaissance Man magazine. That movie laid out so many things that we were working on and that we talked about in our mission. It was divine order that I came across that movie that night.
Yeah. So that movie kind of sparked something. But before I actually launched Legacy Builders, I had a mentorship program that was attached to a nonprofit here called Life Literacy. And I had over 700 students in my program. I was in 3 counties, 15 schools. And I always had this connection with young people. This is what I do. I can rock. You can put me in any space and it's cool. But them young people, because I got a son. I got a 20-year-old. And I'm not trying to be cool to be relevant to him. I'm relevant and he thinks I'm cool.
That's nice.
So the stuff that I do, the stuff that I wear, like my shoe game is tough. Not because I'm bragging on shoes. It's a way to get to young people.
That's right.
Right? It's a conversation starter. So when they walk and they see, oh, you got the Kobe's on. Yeah, whatever. They just Kobe's to me. But to you, it's a way for me to connect with you. And so I use all that stuff. And then one day, right after I watched Forged, my son and all his homeboys were over here. They had just came home from college, and they always come here and post up. And I'm sitting here and I'm just talking to him about normal everyday stuff that happens in the house. But to his friends, it's, man, your dad over there spit. And I'm sitting there saying, man, Forge kind of sparked something in me to say, I have the connection to these young people. I need to start something like that.
That's right.
Wow. And I didn't start it immediately. I sat on it and I was like, yeah, I'm doing this mentorship program, and I kind of playing around with a name and all this other stuff because I didn't want to go back to life literacy because technically I didn't own that. That was part of the nonprofit. But I created the culture of it, but it was their property. So I couldn't use that even though I like it. Life literacy, it has a good catch to it. And I'm just sitting around playing and I'm like, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to create legacy. So I had a couple of different names that I was playing with, just going through, and I was piecing them together. And I was like, Legacy Builder. Legacy Builder. So I started Googling all these legacy builders to see what was out there. And there's a lot of legacy builder stuff out there. And I was like, I need to find a word that can kind of seal it together. And cooperative is a word that means that we're all working together for a common goal, right?
That's right.
So that's how Legacy Builders Cooperative was formed. And what Legacy Builders is, it's a mentorship program for young men 17 to 25. And it's a year-long cohort. We meet every other week and we talk. Our main focus, the three key principles of this organization is spiritual maturity, business acumen and financial literacy, and manhood. So we couple all those together through a 12-month program where we're going to have speakers coming in to expose these young men. That's how that started, and that's where it's at. And so the second part of that question is, legacy is not what you leave behind, it's currently what you're building right now. So what the things that I'm trying to do in the moment, I have a 20-year-old. He's watching, he's looking, his friends are watching, they're looking. And so I'm trying to establish the stuff now so when I transition out of here, it's already in place. And the legacy that I really want to live is my seed, that my son is a stand-up dude in the community that loves God, that's able to carry on the legacy that I started, that my dad started, that my granddad started, because it didn't start, you know what I'm saying? This is now some of this generational stuff that was passed on, that was generational trauma that became normalized, that I had to fight through. My son don't have to fight through it. So the legacy is like being a solid human being. Yeah, he's going to have his own problems. The legacy is he's going to know who he is in Christ. I didn't learn that until I was 26.
Wow.
He got saved at 11, and he got 15 years on me.
Wow, that's right. Wow. That's powerful.
So now what I'm doing with the Legacy Builders, I am also trying to help other cities create legacy builders. So I have an opportunity in Cali, and I have an opportunity in Buffalo.
Other chapters, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's powerful.
Because there's 17 to 25-year-old people everywhere that we forget about.
Right.
That 17 to 25 group is a lost demographic.
That's right.
We don't really tend to them, and then they don't really tend to us because they weird and doing their own thing in that space. But somebody has to go and fish and go get them.
That's right.
And create a space where they can come in and bond and build a brotherhood and get equipped to be out in this world and function at a high level.
Correct. Most people don't understand that's a pivotal age in a young man's life. And that's a time frame when they learn who they are.
Yeah.
And if they don't have the right guidance and the right tutelage, they'll learn the wrong thing about not only life, but about themselves. So, and that's some great work to do. And we commend you for that.
Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all support. Yeah, it's
absolutely. We're going to work on partnership with it. Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Again, it's 17 to 25, but I got a couple of 30-year-olds, and I got a couple of 40-year-olds in there. But here's my thing: at any point you decide you want to be a better man, I can't tell you that you aged out of that.
Exactly.
Right.
You're 60 and you say, I want to be a part of the program.
That's right.
Because
I love that you say that, because being a better man, we attach that to money, wealth, career, having a great job, things like that. When you're younger, you're just hyper focused on that. But I didn't learn, honestly, until my early 40s, to be honest with you, what being a better man looks like for me was none of those things. It's how I felt about myself, because I was carrying traumas that I was still dealing with from a young childhood. So I could have all the money, I could have the great job, I could have the big house, I could have all of that. That looks like I'm a better man, but reality is better man is starting from the inside out. You see what I'm saying?
100%.
The inside out wasn't the better version, the better man of me. So yeah, I just discovered this in my 40s and changed my entire lifestyle around that. Now my better man has nothing to do with materials, holistic things, or career focus or nothing. That's just stuff I got to do.